We need to graph these two inequalities. So I'm going to start just by graphing one line at a time. For the top one, we can even temporarily think of it as y equals x plus 1. So notice it's in slope-intercept form. My slope is the number in front of x. In this case will be 1, and I can do 1 over 1 for rise over run. The y-intercept is also 1, which will be at the point 0 for x, 1 for y. So y-intercept of 1, I use my slope of up 1 over 1 to get to the next point. And I'm going to draw that line. I can even go down 1, left 1, which is still in the positive direction. You can see that still works. Now it's less than or equal to. So because it's equal to, this will be a solid line. And I'll just try to draw a straight line. Next, with that same line, I'm going to bring out the inequality again. I need to do a test point to see which side I'm going to shade. Now notice it does not pass through 0, 0. That's always my preferred point if it doesn't pass through that point. And so I'm going to test it at this point. If it comes out true, I shade where 0, 0 is. If this comes out false, I know that it's not true where 0, 0 is. So let's plug it in. 0 is less than or equal to 0 plus 1. So 0 is less than or equal to 1. Is that true? Is 0 smaller than 1? Well, yes, 0 is smaller than 1. And so I'm going to shade this part. And I'm just going to do it with straight lines so we can see where it crosses as when we graph the other one. Okay, the other line, we'll do the same thing, just make it y equals negative 1/2 x minus 1 temporarily. You don't have to do that, but just if you have a hard time graphing these, you can. So in this one, my slope is negative 1/2. My y-intercept is negative 1, which will be at the point 0, negative 1. So let's go ahead and graph this. So 0, negative 1, I've got a point right here. In fact, let's change the color. Okay, so we've got a point here at 0, negative 1. My slope is negative 1/2, so I go down 1 over 2. I can do that a couple times. Now notice when I draw this line, it is going to be a negative slope, and that's what we want. We do want a line with a negative slope. Okay, now let's look at the inequality again. It was y is greater than negative 1/2 x minus 1. There's no equal sign for this one. And so this line will just be a dotted line through those points. Okay, last step here is we need to do a test point. Again, notice this line does not cross through 0, 0, so we can use that same test point. Otherwise, if it does cross through 0, 0, you can use any point you want. So we'll substitute it in. 0 is greater than negative 1/2 times 0 minus 1. That just becomes 0, so basically 0 is greater than negative 1. Well, is 0 greater than negative 1? Yes, it is. That's true. So we would shade that side where 0, 0 is. Now, the final answer is where both lines cross. And so it would be right in this section. You could even, oh, oops, I had to grab the eraser. Let's see. So we can even grab, oops, sorry, protractor, shut up now. So we can grab the eraser. Mine's going to erase a little more than yours would just because I'm on a computer, but we can erase so that our final answer shows really clearly where that final shading would be. So just to recap, when you're graphing these, first graph the line, decide is it dotted or solid, shade the one side of the line, do the same with the other, graph it, dotted or solid, shade one side of the line, and then the final shading is the place where it overlaps.